It's Off Exit 10, presented by Capital District Sport and Fitness.
A lot of people say that it's a downside that there's no like formal licensure process. There's no like, well, these are the steps you got to take to get to here, because you get people with just like such diverse backgrounds. And like, this is a people field.
Right.
You got to be good at communicating with people, and you need a crazy work ethic and
Right.
like this eagerness to learn. It's like, regardless, what'd you study in school?
Business management.
So it's like, do you feel like you're applying things that you learned in school in terms of running the gym?
Now, like, so with probably the first 6 months, it's an adjustment period, going from working for somebody and then doing everything on your own. You know what I mean? So, in the beginning, it was tough trying to, apply anything that I learned from school. Also, I've been out of school for now 12 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't remember half that stuff I learned
Yeah,
in
we're all
class.
that old now, huh?
Yeah. Let's not remind ourselves of that.
Like,
all right?
So it's crazy. So a lot of things that I was learning, but a lot of like the advertising, the marketing stuff is out. That's the type of stuff that I'm able to remember and implement into the business, because you have to do all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you start 2022, and it's just you. You're the only coach.
Right. Yep. So when I first opened, the plan was for me to do whatever I needed to do for training kids in sports. As you guys probably seen, I have a lot of women that come to the gym.
I love it, which is great. Do you have any female coaches on staff?
We have 3.
That's fantastic.
We have 3, and they're great. They're amazing. But yeah, and then my father does self-defense every once in a while. So that was the plan. Like, I was going to train as many people as I can, and he was going to do self-defense, and we were going to just figure it out.
Yeah, the girls in the gym thing is huge. I had a mentor in Boston, this guy Mike Reinold, and he's like just a super smart PT. He worked for the Red Sox back in the day. He built a facility similar to this and is just super successful. But he told me once, he's like, if you can fill your gym with girls, girls will want to come and guys will want to come. But if you fill it just with guys, like, you're going to lose half your population and half your potential for earnings like right away.
That's a real thing.
Right. I mean, I was told years ago, if women buy, you'll be successful. Whether it's clothing, shoes, whatever it is.
Yeah.
If women want it, it's going to be successful.
Yeah,
So,
and I think it speaks a lot to, especially early on when you were growing and you get a lot of females. Like, we talked about this maybe with Sam in the last podcast, but be able to create a space that's safe for females, especially in a gym setting.
Right.
Because that can be a very uncomfortable place, yeah?
Exactly.
For a female.
A lot of women come to me and they're worried about that. They're worried about the trainer pushing up on them, or, anybody else just walking around. They want to feel comfortable. They don't want to feel judged.
Right.
Even by other women. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big thing. So, been blessed to build like a community where people are very supportive and motivating. There's none of that, the hate or anything like that. No one's doing anything like that. So it's been great.
Was that on the front of your mind when you first opened? Like, obviously, here's the physical space of the gym, and here's the training that I bring to the table. But knowing that I want this place to be a community and a space where people can feel empowered and safe and confident and meet other like-minded people. Was that something that you were thinking about? Like, I need this to become something like this?
Not at all. Not at all. It just happened. And really, I never thought about it until my cousin who works there, Carl, he was like, you created a multicultural space where people feel safe and want to come to. And that's when it hit. And that was probably 6 months ago. Like, I saw, I seen everything happen, and I attribute a lot of the success to the other trainers, because everybody meshes well. You know what I mean? They don't come in with ego. And this, their personality helps people feel comfortable. So it just happened. Like, that wasn't something that I was thinking of when I opened the gym. My father kept pushing me to open. I was nervous. I didn't think that it would be successful. I was scared.
Prior to ever doing this, when you were working for the state, you say your dad
My dad was like, get a gym. Get your own gym. let's get our own building.
What he
I'm
see?
like,
Just you were passionate about
right.
training.
So he can see the effect I was having on my clients at the time, and that people wanted to work out with me. But I didn't think me owning my own gym, like adding to my bills, sounded crazy at the time.
Right.
But it worked out. So
The state just gave you that sense of security, and then when they were like,
yeah,
no more, you're like, well, all right,
literally
Dad, we're going
2
all
weeks. I opened up on a Wednesday. It was 2 weeks, 14 days exactly before I opened.
That's crazy.
So
Yeah, sometimes you got to get forced or pushed, or whether it's like the state lays you off, you didn't see it coming, or
Right.
your dad is like, hey, maybe he's
Yeah.
someone you respect and trust. Like, do you
Well,
see something?
I was on the edge, man. Like, they say take the leap of faith,
Mm-hmm.
and I was nervous. And then I got pushed. Literally got pushed over the edge. So
Yeah, and this is an interesting business too, because you're so face to face with the customer. You're always face to face with the customer.
Always.
It's not like they're buying some product online and we're back end shipping
Right.
and supplying and replying to emails. It's like we're always face to face. So it's like you're such a face in your business, but then it's like you have so much back end you have to take care of too.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot with the planning, the scheduling, remembering, because everybody's not doing the same thing. So remembering this person's goals and
Yeah, okay.
it's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, because your business model is a little different than ours, where you hire your coaches and they're independent contractors, right? So they're in the gym. How do you go about knowing this person's going to be a good fit into what I've created in terms of hiring?
That's something I started thinking about more recently. Like, I wasn't thinking about it in the beginning. So the first person to come, I have a yoga instructor as well.
Mm-hmm.
She was the first person to really come aboard, and I had known her from before when I was training her and things like that. She got her certification. But then Samantha Munn came in, and her personality is very similar to mine. So it just clicked. And then my cousin came on. We're family. So we have a lot of the same, the upbringing.
Do you feel like you got to have a lot of trust in somebody to bring them on?
I mean, yes, absolutely. You have to trust people, because one, you're giving them a key to your business.
Mm-hmm.
Anything can happen. But I'm more so worried about the rapport than anything else. I have cameras and things like that. Things can, we can make things right.
Yeah.
As if somebody wants
You
to
have cameras.
steal
You have cameras in the gym.
in the gym.
I'm afraid to do that. I'm so type A. People have asked before, and I'm like, yeah, it would be good. I think about it being good. God forbid anything terrible happens in here. All right, we got from a legal standpoint, it's on camera. That could be helpful or hurtful, but it could be helpful.
Yeah.
But for my mental health, it's like I had enough. Like we got the camera with our daughter taking a nap on my phone, and I'm just like looking at that shit. I couldn't imagine being at home.
I know.
I couldn't help myself, but I'm like,
No,
hanging.
you would be on your computer looking at it the whole time. Like, what are these? That person needs to fix that.
Yeah, I think, my whole personal life would be done. I'd be divorced in like 2 months probably.
When I'm not there, I don't check the cameras that often. I've been working with everybody for a while now, and have built trust amongst everybody. So I don't just sit home checking the cameras, but I have it because a lot of people do bring their kids,
Right.
and their kids sit in the back. But sometimes, how kids are, they get antsy. So
Oh yeah.
they run out. God forbid something happens to
Right.
one of these kids. At least I have documentation.
Well, and you said you focused more on the rapport, and if you have that rapport, that trust is going to be there.
Right.
Like,
So everybody respects each other. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, there's no egos.
That's huge. That's a big
That's
thing.
a big thing.
I mean, in this field too, where it's like a lot of younger people post college, it is male dominated. It's like you get a lot of egos.
Right. Yeah. And I think the team that we have now is perfect. Like I said, I've been blessed. Everybody is cool with each other, respect each other. We respect each other's space and time. So we haven't had any issues when it comes to the trainers. So
Yeah, that's huge. How have you gone about space management in the gym as you've grown? So now it's something we deal with here. It's like you get more clients, you hire another coach, and all of a sudden it's like, I got the same square footage, but I got more bodies on the floor, more scheduling to do within a day.
We help each other out a lot. Like if it's a piece of equipment, if somebody's using it and you want to use it, like we're really good about, well, here's a substitute for this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or do this until I'm done. I'll be done in a couple sets or things like that. So we've been really good about working around each other. So that really hasn't been much of an issue. I mean, we've had classes where it's been 35 people on a holiday morning, and there's still 3 other trainers and they're trying to train. You know what I mean? So, and that gets tight in a 2,400 square foot.
Yeah.
I'm like picturing it in here. I'm like, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. Have you had to learn the hard way in any type of ways and like reorganize or make scheduling changes?
No, so everybody has their own schedule.
Okay.
You know, we haven't really had to do it. Like some people have, like Carl and Tyler, they have more of like, they probably a trainer right now.
Mm-hmm.
They have clients now where like myself, Samantha are on our break, our midday break. One of our trainers, she has a full-time job, so she's only there, and she's about to have a baby, so she's only there a couple hours a day, if she even comes. But yeah, everything, we haven't had to do too much. We are in the process of trying to reorganize some things now, just because keep things fresh, get a couple different pieces of equipment. Like got the vertical leg press coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Got a hack squat recently. Just trying to do different things where we can maximize the space a little bit. While, you know, gotta do what you can in the space that you have.
That's maximizing the space is huge.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like we just went through a whole relay out in December.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to save money early on. We just got one of those rigs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like the big rectangle thing with all the different squat racks.
Looks like a jungle gym.
And it was just dead center in the gym right there. But then it just created too much space that we just weren't using.
Right.
You know, like where all the bumper plates are now, that would have been the center of it, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we got to open up this side of the gym so we can get more bodies in, and it just feels like less cluttered. I guess for more space has purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
Like use and like with ours, with like the group setting, the flow of the gym and whatnot, like making sure you don't have people on top of each other, or you got somebody trying to do sprints while somebody else is trying to do sled push, and like now you got to look both ways before you do something. Like, so that kind of stuff was a big reason why we were like, we got to figure out how we can maximize the space we have before we actually need more space.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing now. Like we have that issue when somebody's trying to push the sled and other people are trying to, you know, walk across the turf, or you know what I mean?
Just setting up the flow, really, like to maximize what you got, you know, 2,400 square feet. That's not. It sounds more when you say 2,400 than it actually is.
Right.
You know.
So you think about, you know, however many bodies in there exercising, and then coaches.
Right. And we also got 2 bathrooms. Like that's included. You know what I mean? Like
that's
point.
included in the 2,400.
In the 2,400.
Oh, so you probably
That's
got
not,
like 2,000 square feet.
Right. You know what I mean? So the actual space of the working gym is not 2,400 square feet.
Yeah.
The entire facility is 2,400 square feet. So
Yeah.
we're working with tight space, but like I said, we make it work.
Make it work.
Yeah, you got to make it work.
Have to.
When did you first get into lifting yourself and training? Were you high school? Were you college?
Man, I was so lazy in high school. I would lift every once in a while, and my father was big on like push-ups. Like there was times that he would make me and my brother do push-ups, like every commercial. Let's do 500 an hour.
Dude, my dad made Paul do push-ups
Yeah.
once.
There was one time. One time.
One time.
We were all stars for baseball.
And my dad
And I've known Dave forever.
Was your dad real hard, real tough on you guys? Or no?
Not really. It wasn't like militant.
Yeah, our dad wasn't militant. He was a state trooper. I think he just worked a lot. He owned a painting company too. So I look back and I'm like, God, you know, he was doing way more than I do, and I'm trying to muster up enough energy to really be present, you know, with my daughter and with my wife.
Right.
So I'm like, dude, I couldn't imagine, you know, how he was doing it. But I guess sometimes he was tired and probably just fell back on what old habits were. And he could get a little bit tough and militant with sports and with what you were doing. So that fell off of me and went on to Paul one day at baseball.
One day in baseball, you know, we have flip phones at this
How
time.
old are we too? We're like 14.
Probably 14. Yeah, it was like 14 or 15. because we were on the big field. I distinctly remember at the complex and doing them basically right next to home plate. And he was like, "There's no cell phones, whatever." And I must have had like an alarm set on my phone or something, and it goes off.
Was it an alarm or a phone call?
It wasn't a phone call.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, all of a sudden the phone goes off because I didn't recognize it. That's why.
Oh,
So
it wasn't your ringtone.
No, so I didn't.
What was your
recognize-
ringtone?
I don't even know.
Do you know my first ever ringtone that I had on my phone, Terron? Did you have a ringtone ever?
I did. I can't remember what it was.
I think it's funny that we all bought ringtones and now we all use fucking vibrate.
I was in 7th grade. Do you know what mine was? This is fucking insane.
What
Who I
year
thought
was
I
it?
was.
What year was it?
2003. My first ever ringtone.
It had to be like 50 Cent.
No, it's worse. No, 50 Cent's good. It's not bad. This is, I think,
This is bad, you're saying.
good artist. Had a couple good songs, but this song was my ringtone as a 7th grade boy who like hadn't even kissed a girl yet. I had Freak a Leak as my ringtone. Petey Pablo.
Solid. Solid. It's a solid choice.
But yeah,
That was a good song.
Yeah.
good song.
Yeah.
Great song.
Jay,
Shout
give
out
us
Petey
some
Pablo.
Freak a Leak before Paul tells his push-up story. Good fucking song.
That's
He
a
had
great song.
He had the other song that was in Drumline, right? No, am I wrong?
He did have another song.
That was like the
North
other one.
Carolina
Raise
song.
Up. Raise Up.
Yeah.
That was his first one.
That was his first one.
That was a banger.
But whatever.
But yeah, so my phone went off, the alarm went off, and I'm sitting there like an idiot, like, oh, it's not my phone. And then, we go check, and I'm like, oh, shit. And I was like, yeah, it's mine. And he's like, all right, 100 push-ups, go. And I was like, oh. And it's like the middle of summer, like August or July. Hot. Probably July, because August I would have been playing football.
Baseball pants on.
Baseball pants on. Like, I'm like, all right. And I'm just doing 100 push-ups at home plate. Everybody else is playing. I'm like, this is terrible. I hate my life. Thanks,
awful.
Dave.
But okay, but you were what in high school? You were a basketball guy.
Basketball, yep.
Anything else, or just a hoops guy?
I played football 1 year. But basketball was it. That's what I was in love with. Just lazy.
But there,
Lazy.
I mean, you did say your youngest brother is
Lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he was lazier.
yeah.
Like,
Well, you
I didn't have a brother that owned the gym.
That's fair.
you
Get
do
your ass in
though.
the gym. He owns one.
You
Right.
you can reflect back on yourself, or you can see kids now. It's like you do have to. There are more pressures on kids now than we had growing up with athletics. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kids are getting paid in high school now.
Yeah. Social media exists
social
now.
media, all that stuff. Like, somebody from Wisconsin had no idea who I was unless we happened to come across each other in the AAU tournament.
Good point.
Now you can know about every kid that's good in basketball just by going online.
Yeah, and I think that
Like,
makes
it's
kids
crazy.
want to compare themselves to others. Is way more readily available to do that to yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely more pressure, I feel. But I also feel like if I was my younger brother and I knew I can get paid in high school, I would be working a lot harder.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I would have figured it out. I
Yeah.
get paid and get sponsorships
For sports?
to do what I love. I'm doing anyway.
Yeah, I think we had don't quote me on this, but we had on Zayas. He's like the New York State sports I don't know, director of
Some New York State Public High School Athletic Association. He's like VP of something.
like the head of that.
Yeah.
But he said, yeah, kids can get paid in high school. They just can't wear their school logo on whatever they're promoting to get paid. Don't do that, and you're good to go.
Like, that's crazy.
Crazy.
Kids are getting paid a lot of money.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, top kids, yeah.
I mean, even after high school and college, there are people getting paid just because of their basketball content on IG. Like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I could have just went to the Hoffman Park in Albany and recorded some stuff.
Could have done some sweet trick shots.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, the pressure's way more, but I think, too, you have to understand that if you see a kid who's 14, 15, 16 in front of you, and they're kind of lazy, you got to try to, have a positive influence on them and their work
Right.
ethic. But it's like maybe they have to do it their own way. Like they got to just live life, go through to have some adversity, fail a bunch of times, then all of a sudden go, shit.
Right. That's the toughest part with talking to anybody and trying to motivate somebody. Like, because
yeah.
it could be, they may receive what you're saying wrong and it seem like you're trying to, come down on them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like, when you try to motivate somebody that doesn't have any self-motivation, there's not much you can say.
It's hard. And I have a hard time with that because I guess just how I am, I've always been self-motivated. And I've gotten better over the years to pull back and be like, I don't know what this person's life's been like. They've probably had some trauma. Yeah, kids, it's the pressures of just being a kid and school and social
Right.
media and sports. But then, I mean, you train a lot of adults, right? Just working adults. I mean,
Right.
you're dealing there with a lot of psychology as well, people's past traumas and their current life situation, and
on a day-to-day.
On a day-to-day.
You're more therapist than trainer half the time.
Kind of.
It's true.
When I hire, I'd rather hire a good therapist, and I'll train you how to coach people. Right.
No, it's you really have to be in many ways a therapist.
Yeah. There's things I know about clients from when I had time in New York City that I'm like, why do I even know this? There's no reason for me to know this.
Yeah.
I'm your trainer.
I didn't ask you.
Nope.
No, but
you know what? I'm a safe space for you, so I'm here. I'm here for it.
You have to. You have to save the space. That's how you build. I mean, that's how you build a rapport is good because they feel comfortable with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's because you're face to face the whole time, like we said. You see somebody so often, 2 times a week, maybe more, for an hour, maybe more.
Right.
And they're exercising too, so they're like releasing this like dopamine and serotonin. They're just feeling good, so it's like they're comfortable to express themselves to you.
We have there's a kid in here. His mom works out here too, and she always says like he doesn't talk like much at all.
Yeah.
And then she's like, every time he leaves here, he is a motor mouth the entire ride home. He's just like just talking the whole time, and it's just because he's got all those endorphins, and he's like. And the funny thing is, he's like, what are all these people talking about with like endorphins after they work out, like dopamine, da 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 da. And she's like, this is what they're talking about right here. So it's funny because, you know, you get those things, and it might be somebody that might be more reserved or doesn't want to express themselves, but as soon as they start working out and they start feeling good, all of a sudden that opens up the floodgates, and now you're learning about things that you were like, all right. That might have been TMI on that one, but we'll just keep going.
You have the moments where you go, do I follow up question, or I'm just gonna like suck that in and move on?
I hear I walk past sometimes and hear a conversation amongst like some of the female trainers and their clients, and I'm like, yeah, I walked at the wrong time, bro. That's not what I need to hear.
It's a safe space. They want to share, you're gonna share.
Yeah, they just laugh, and I just walk away, but. Like I walked at the wrong time.
Yes. When you because you played in college, you played at Skidmore.
Yep.
And you could, I feel like you could score, right? You were 1,000 points at Skidmore. So if you feel like you didn't have the work ethic in high school, but you could play, when did it click that you're like, oh, I'm nice at basketball and I can keep playing and like make a decent college career out of this?
So that's part of the reason why I didn't play football my senior year in high school, and like my coach had brought myself and 2 others to like Central Connecticut State, and you know I had a conversation with a couple coaches
for basketball.
Yeah, for basketball. So I'm thinking that I'm getting a scholarship. I'm not thinking about Skidmore at the time. So I knew I can play, and then I get to Skidmore and start playing, and I'm like, yo, these dudes are strong. Like these, I'm thinking Division III is gonna be cakewalk, and it's not. You know what I mean? It's completely different from what a lot of people think Division III is. You know, every kid want D1. They think Kentucky, Memphis, but that's not everyone's reality. I mean, a lot of these guys in Division III can ball.
Oh yeah.
Can really ball. Like a kid that I played overseas with, he went to Amherst, which is Division III. You can play with him right now on 2K. You know they have like the Euro teams. He's on one of those Euro teams.
That's sick.
You played overseas?
So a couple like showcases, like the D3 Hoops All-Star team, and then D3 USA team.
There's been a lot of good basketball players from around this area.
Great basketball players.
I'm trying to think of another sport that's comparable in the volume of like really good players, because we talked off air when you first came in. You were a McGinn guy, so there was Taylor Battle,
Jimmer Fredette, Mark Lyons.
Bowie was there when you were there.
Yep, their youngest brother, just broke Northwestern's scoring record.
Yeah, we were saying they got that family's got 2 kids that are the all-time leading scorers for 2 schools in the Big Ten.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
But we had a lot of talent. Like even before me, like Tiki Maben, a beast, like different. Probably has the best court vision I've ever seen in my life. But we had a lot of talent basketball. We had some football players.
Dags is from around here, right?
Dags was a Guilderland
guy.
You got Dags. He played overseas.
Yeah, I mean Tay's from Kingston, but he was at Siena.
Yep. I mean, we had a lot of guys. Like I said, Mark Lyons, he went to Xavier in Arizona. He's still playing overseas. Like Greg Holly probably could have went Division I for basketball, but he got drafted to the MLB. So
hey, I'm gonna go that way.
That name's familiar.
he went to CBA. He graduated 07.
Yeah, he's our age. Okay, that's how I know that
Yep,
name.
yep. He is a monster. He was like Ivan Drago.
On the basketball
On the basketball
court.
It's funny because I
bro.
just watched Creed 2 like
Did you?
last weekend.
Yo, he was like Ivan Drago. It was crazy. And I think he got drafted out of high school and then decided to go to TCU. And
Yes,
then,
I think you're correct.
Yeah,
about
and
that.
then went to
Yep.
Kansas City Royals or something like that, or the Brewers, or maybe both. He might have been on both.
You
teams.
saying the name Holly and TCU distinctly now remember from high school, like that being him going there.
Yeah, we've had a lot of talented guys. I mean, even NFL, Deion Lewis is from.
Yeah, we went to
Albany.
high school with Josh Kais, whose Texans jersey's there.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know how well known Josh really is in the area, minus just like Chatham people, right? But he was nasty running back in high school, went to BC,
Never played running back.
moved to defense, was like a free safety, and then moved to a linebacker, like an outside linebacker. And then when undrafted, signed by the Bucks
Yeah,
And-
he was originally with the Bucks.
and had like a 7-year NFL career. Like
He
I
was
would
What's his name?
Josh
Josh
Kais.
He was a freshman when we would have been seniors.
Okay.
But he actually was on the he didn't dress for the Super Bowl, but he was on the Falcons roster for the Super Bowl.
nice.
that
The
Patriots
dope.
that
upset.
Tom Brady,
Yeah,
you know.
they blew it. They blew it.
Who's? Do you follow a lot of basketball or no?
Well, this is probably not the best thing to say on
Say it.
podcast, but mostly through FanDuel.
Paul.
Listen,
Paul can
I was
second
gonna
that.
ask you because before you got here, I was on DraftKings. I'm on my Twitter, sitting there looking at like the algorithm shit. Then I'm like, all right, let's cross reference here. What are we playing today?
Right.
For the same reason I don't have cameras at the gym, I don't have FanDuel or DraftKings.
Don't do it. Stay off. It's horrible.
But that keeps you engaged with the
It
sport.
keeps me engaged with sports that I've never even watched, bro. Like, why am I
What's the craziest thing you bet on?
soccer
Listen,
and soccer and hockey?
yeah, I
Never watched either one of those growing up, but now I'm betting on them.
Yeah, I try to stick with the ones I know. Sometimes I'll get like somebody in here and they'll be like, "Yo, you got to play this bet." I'm like, "Fine, you know what? I'll listen to you." And then I lose and I go, "I'm never listening to you again." Ever.
Well, I lied. My cousin sends me bets about golf.
Oh,
I know
you are-
nothing about golf. I am a horrible golfer.
Oh, me too.
Terrible.
Everybody says that betting on golf is easy, and I'm like,
When?
Like-
Because he hasn't sent me a winner yet.
yeah, well, maybe it's not easy for him.
He hasn't sent me a winner yet.
Why do people say it's easy? I mean,
Or
there's
it's
why-
easier, like, or that you can like.
Think about this though. There's your select guys who are really well known and good, but like
I
they're
don't know if
rarely
you-
the ones winning the tournament.
Because I don't
right?
know how I've never bet on golf, so I don't know if you have to pick like who's gonna win or if you can pick like a certain like where they're gonna finish type thing. And
Yeah, so the parlays he sends me is like certain people to finish top 20 or top 5. And I'm like, I haven't won yet.
yeah, we gotta reassess that.
Yeah, it's
he,
crazy.
he needs to get an algorithm or something.
Yeah, we need to have a discussion. We got to have a sit down. If I don't win this parlay that he sent me this time, it's over.
Yeah, I don't watch much sports at all. I did
No?
a lot growing up. I played baseball throughout high school. I was obsessed. It was like what I put all my time into. And I was like an okay athlete. I think I made myself a like halfway decent athlete. Played in college, walked on D3 at Springfield, but like
Springfield,
good
oh, yeah.
D3 competition.
Right.
Played 2 years, and then started playing fall ball my junior year. And like second weekend, I was just like, this isn't it anymore, man. It's like
Yeah.
not enjoyable. It's a stressor. I just burned myself out. And I feel like me burning myself out with baseball, I burned myself. I just shut off sports. And here we are 10, 11 years later. And it's like, I still don't watch much. I did see a crazy thing online though this morning. It was like all the eras of LeBron in terms of like all the different teams he's played against. And to see, it was, you'd slide on Instagram and you'd see him on the court and it was like Rondo and Pierce and Garnett. And then you'd see him on the court and it was like the '04 Pistons with like Billups and Hamilton. And you're like, wait, yeah, he's in the league then. And then the Warriors and then the
it's crazy.
Thunder and
It's
then the
crazy.
Mavericks and then the Kobe Lakers with Gasol. You're like, dude, he's played against all of these teams.
Yeah.
Yo, it's crazy. Like, I think, what's his name? Kid on the Rockets. Jabari
Smith.
Jabari Smith. I think his first time playing against LeBron, he was like, yo, your first NBA game, you played against my dad.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
There's been multiple guys where they'll show him
crazy.
and then they show like him playing against his dad, or when Ime Udoka was talking smack to LeBron, they did like a flash picture of Ime Udoka guarding
him.
LeBron, and then I think LeBron like dunked
Definitely
on him. Killed him.
Destroyed him.
Yeah. But it's just crazy how long he's been in the league.
That's crazy.
Does he just want to play with his son?
I think he's trying.
I think that's what he's trying to.
I don't know if it's going to happen.
Why wouldn't it happen?
Bronny's got to get there.
Yeah.
But you don't think a team
Bronny's gotta
would,
get
you think
there.
a team would just sign him just for the pure amount of money it could bring if they played together? Or am I wrong? It's not that much more money to
I
bring
think
in.
a team that doesn't care about winning.
The only team that cares that's like legitimate that might do it would be like Dallas. Just because they already have Luka and like Mark Cuban, you know, he's not even the main owner anymore, but that's the only team I could see that's like relevant that would like. But I don't see LeBron leaving.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I guess.
Oh, just your wire. I was making sure it's good.
No,
We can
I'm
cut
just
this out.
No, I'm just making sure it's not. in the
Yeah, I
way.
wasn't sure it was sliding.
No, you're good.
I don't know. I don't know. I think he would like to play in the league with his son, but
I also think he's the type of guy he's not gonna rush his son to the league just for that reason. Like if Bronny's got a chance and he's got to stay in college for 3 years to do it, he's gonna be like, yeah, stay and do it and develop.
yeah. I'm hoping Bronny has a better second year than his first year.
I think a lot of people also aren't taking into consideration the dude had heart surgery before the year.
Right.
Good
Which
point.
is a big thing.
Yeah.
But we were talking about that this morning, my brother and I. I'm like, he's not shooting well. I mean, it's tough. It's different from going to high school to college, period.
Yeah.
It's an adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like you said, he had heart surgery, so now it's a completely different type of adjustment. Kid is talented.
Yeah.
I think he will be there.
Yeah.
I just don't know if LeBron will still be there when he gets there.
I said he'll be like a Tony Allen, Marcus Smart type player. But
Yeah, like a Pat Bev.
yeah, like he's gonna be a
A
defensive
more
hound.
athletic Pat Bev.
Yeah, defensive hound. He'll probably be able to shoot a little bit, and then he'll
But that's
probably be like a leader.
That's
too.
that's a good
That's the guy you
career.
want. That's the guy you want.
that he could have a really good career
Mm-hmm.
doing that. I mean, he's not going to be his dad.
No, I
You
mean,
know what I mean?
come on.
It's not going to be his
There
dad.
might be one or two guys in his class.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't necessarily think so, but we don't have to have that debate.
The supplement industry is like the Wild West. The lack of regulations mean the supplements you purchase may not even contain the ingredients listed on the label, which is why I get my daily vitamins and supplements from Thorne. Thorne vitamins and supplements are made without compromise. Quality ingredients ensure your body optimally absorbs and digests your daily supplements, while in-house and third-party testing ensure you're getting exactly what you paid for. Thorne offers a variety of health tests reviewed by board-certified physicians that evaluate your lifestyle, gut health, sleep, stress hormones, and metabolic markers to determine which vitamins and supplements may be most effective in helping you feel and perform better throughout the day. For college and professional athletes, Thorne has NSF-certified supplements that make sure you won't get pop positive on a drug test. Whether you're an athlete, professional, parent, grandparent, or weekend warrior, Thorne's selection of high-quality supplements can help improve your quality of life. Switch to Thorne's high-quality and extensively tested supplements today at thorne.com/u/CDSF. That's thorne.com/u/CDSF. This episode of Off Exit 10 is brought to you by Anchor and the all-new Anchor Pro, crafted to endure the most high-performance workouts without the high cost and space requirements of a standard cable machine. Named the best portable cable machine by Men's Health Home Gym Awards, Anchor provides the full functionality of a cable machine in one small space-saving unit. Designed with user-friendliness in mind, Anchor can simply be attached to any squat rack or placed on any wall in your home gym using its intuitive sliding track mount. With up to 65 pounds of resistance, Anchor is built for high speed and controlled exercises alike, from cable presses and rows to chops and lifts. The Anchor has been a game changer for us here at CDSF, and now you can enjoy the same professional quality cable machine in your own home gym by heading over to anchortraining.com and using code CDSF10 for 10% off your order today. Get all the benefits of a cable machine without the high cost and installation fees. Enjoy the portable luxury and space-saving performance of Anchor today by going to anchortraining.com and using code CDSF10 at checkout. That's anchortraining.com, promo code CDSF10 for 10% off your order today. What was the biggest adjustments for you going from high school basketball to college basketball?
Coming from a winning program to a losing program.
Okay, that's an interesting point. I experienced that in college too. High school winning, college not at all.
Yeah, it was.
I couldn't do that.
So the year before I got there, I think they won 6 games, and then the coach brought in 9 freshmen. It was 9 of us that came in. and we lost so many. We were 8-17 our freshman year.
That's a 2-win improvement, though.
It is. And out of the 17 losses, I think 12 of them we lost by one possession.
That's
and
tough.
You know what I mean? And it was just like experience.
Yeah.
And like the upperclassmen were just so accustomed to losing that you can see them, like second half start, 5 minutes into the second half, you can see them just shut down because they were so used to the game being over at that point.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest adjustment. And then having a coach in high school who was all grit, and we can cuss, we can, do whatever we wanted as long as we were playing hard. You know what I mean? Where I come to this, like he encouraged fights if they needed to happen
In high school?
In high school,
We talked about this.
Last podcast, I think.
like if you needed to beat someone's
Yeah.
ass, do it because he's not doing what he's supposed to do. I get to college and I'm like, yo, what are we doing, fellas? And he's like, oh, you can't talk to the guys like that. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
I almost quit basketball after my freshman year in college. Like that's how bad it was.
Yeah, you can't put this bubble or this umbrella on people and rob them of like expressing themselves. You got to hash it out. We're playing sports on a team. If something's got to be hashed out, it's only going to cause more trouble if we don't hash it out.
Right.
And sports are passionate. Like if you're passionate about the sport and you're passionate about wanting to win, like you're gonna have those arguments, those fights, right? I mean, you see it professional level, you see it on the college level, and we as viewers will be like, oh, that's not whatever. Like he's yelling at the coach or yelling at his teammate, but then we don't see what happens after that.
Right.
Right. They only show the yelling part. They don't show like, okay,
show the
after
negative.
that, they came together, figured it out, and then all of a sudden they won the game because of that moment.
Right. Yeah, we didn't have to we had a lot of arguments and back and forths in high school. Just competitiveness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that happened one time in college, and that was me and another kid that he's one of my best friends.
That's how it works.
We got into it in practice one day, and you can tell the coach was just so uncomfortable. He was so uncomfortable, man. Like he didn't know what to do. We actually had a kid on our team, African guy, who was so talented. Like he was getting looked at by so many Division I coaches, and he got hurt his senior year in high school. Not one coach called him to check on him. He came back in the first game. He had 20. All these coaches came back, and so he's like, "Oh, I don't want to be a part of that." He's different.
Yeah,
like, this dude speaks 9 languages.
That's the most impressive thing.
Yeah,
Multilingual people, it's insane.
9 languages.
I have a hard enough time speaking English.
Right. Like he speaks 9 languages fluently.
What are you thinking? You probably thinking your primary one, or you could think in any of them.
I know people say it kind of like rotates in and out, but I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
I never even thought to ask him that. When he said 9 languages, I was like, how? Like, how do you even? But he was probably the most talented player I've seen on the Division III level. 6'4" and did everything. Do you guys ever heard Gerard O'Shea?
No.
He played at Ava Park.
No.
Fast as hell.
Mm-hmm.
This dude was like able to guard him full court. As like other teams couldn't even press us because he would break down. 6'4", long arms, could shoot, can dribble, defend. And that coach like brought his entire, like he just stopped caring about basketball. And somehow that dude went from 18 to 40 in 9 months. Like he aged so quickly.
he got the Greg Oden.
Yo, bro, it was it was bad. I'm like, yo, what happened? Like he came in, he could windmill. Now the dude is barely getting like one hand flushes. Like, what is happening? But he was so good.
Yeah.
And that coach, like that the atmosphere of the basketball team, like that, it just wasn't what it was supposed to be.
I think coaching, it's like you need to have. I found in high school we had a great coach. He was knowledgeable and he was organized, and he's been on the podcast. He's like, I've become more flexible and less like rigid over the years. But even when we had him, he wasn't super rigid and like this is how things are done. Like He learned about us and made adjustments. And in college, our guy was rigid, just like, this is how practice is. We're doing this, and that. Didn't really take the time to get to know us personally, and it was just kind of like this cookie cutter thing.
Right. That was the same.
I struggled with that.
I had a very hard time at first. My junior year, we got a new coach, and then we go on to win 2 conference championships.
Well, that speaks a lot.
Well, I guess we know what the problem was.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, we played against Amherst, and it was like practice. We were running the same exact offense as them. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, how are we running the same exact thing? Like, they come down, and it was like the same name.
Right. So like, oh, we've seen this before.
Like, we do this every day.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad. But I got the new coach, and he was similar to my high school coach, and that's when we thrived.
Yeah.
Like, our very first game with him as our coach, he put his hand, we get into a timeout, get into the huddle. He puts his hands over his face. He's like, if I wanted to coach bitches, I would have coached girls. So, but that's the type of, coaching that I was used to.
Yeah.
What was the AAU scene like when you were in high school?
It's nothing like it is today.
No.
I was still playing with Albany City Rocks. Well, at least until I was up to my 15-year-old season. But there was no EYBL yet. It was just regular AAU. You go to the big tournaments. You knew what those were. There were like live sessions and things like that. But when you play with the bigger teams, you go to the bigger tournaments and you get the exposure. And that's just how it was. You had to do what you had to do and against the bigger names.
Yeah.
Like, my senior year in high school, I played against Kemba Walker. I had no idea what this dude looked like.
And then you saw him.
So we get to the game, and my coach is like, growing up, everybody called me Pop. He was like, Pop, you got Kemba. I was like, all right, cool. I felt I didn't want to embarrass myself. Like, who the fuck is Kemba?
But you're right. It's not like nowadays. You're like, oh yeah, I follow him on Instagram, or I've seen him on Twitter.
So
It's
I knew who he was. I just didn't know what he looked like.
Right.
And what's crazy is my freshman year, I played against him as well, but he wasn't as good. Like, I don't even think he played. He played for the Gauchos, and this kid Chuck Bryant was their star player. And then 3 years later, this kid is going to UConn.
Mm-hmm.
They're winning national championship.
Right.
Yeah.
And then go to the league. Like,
He won me that bracket. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Kemba. I put all my stake on you.
As you should have.
Did you play against Jimmer ever?
Yeah, we played on the same team for a tournament, and then we played against each other a few times. It's crazy.
Because you would have played against him for like sectionals and stuff too, right?
No, they were a class under us.
They were a class under you guys? Okay,
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Like, we played against him in AAU, played against him so it's crazy. So I'm a year behind them.
Yeah.
But some tournaments we would play up. So we played up one tournament, and he played us one game and then played Taylor Battle the very next game. And within those 2 games, he had about 102 points.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Like, he would pull up from anywhere.
Yo, and the very first time I played against him, he was chubby. I think it was like 13, 14. He was chubby, and then came back muscular. I was like, what the hell happened? And funny story, I was 14 playing on these guys' team in a tournament in Long Island. Like, OJ Mayo was there, Nick Kalathis. I don't know if you guys know Corey Fisher. He played at Villanova.
Yes, yeah.
Yep. So,
Was he on a national championship team, I think?
Was he?
He might have
He
been.
might have been. No, he wasn't there.
He wasn't there for them then?
No. But all these guys are at this tournament. Irvin Walker, Lance Stevenson.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm coming off the bench, but I'm coming off the bench and I'm playing very well, to the point where I take Jimmer Fredette's starting spot in that tournament. I don't know what happened. From that point, he might have taken that. Maybe I have a little bit of, why he elevated. Maybe he didn't like that. he didn't like that.
He took that a little personal.
He took that personally. Like, oh, you don't like
oh.
this guy? Okay, let me show y'all what I can do, and I'm gonna go be the 10th pick of the draft.
He had 2. I think. I mean, he could shoot.
Yeah.
He could shoot.
Yo.
He could shoot like crazy. I think, which I didn't know this until I got into the fitness industry. There's this guy, Lee Taft. He's like a speed coach. Somewhere he was from the Midwest, and then I think he may be down in like Florida now. But I think he was Jimmer's uncle and did a lot of work with him in high school. And he's like a renowned speed guy. Like Paul did a course with him. which is great. I'm sure he was doing a bunch of stuff with Lee then in high school. And
I mean, there were a lot of rumors. I never asked him personally. But there was rumors that his brother would bring him to like prisons and have him play prison ball to toughen him because he wasn't fast.
No.
He wasn't quick.
I feel like I had heard that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much truth there is to that, but I heard he would go play prison ball.
I guess if you want to toughen a kid up, there's a game to put him in, right?
Yeah, I don't know how he did it.
I mean, maybe it had connections with the corrections. Or
I don't know.
something,
So
or-
I don't. That was a rumor I remember hearing back in the day. But Jimmer was just, I don't know. There's also a rumor that he obviously was drafted, was out of the league for a little while, and then came back, and that's when he was on the Knicks.
Yeah.
There's a rumor that he had a shootout with somebody, and this is how he got his spot, and he made 70 out of 83s.
I believe that. I
And
believe
that's
it.
how he got his. I'm not sure how true it is, but that was.
I can believe that. Like, I feel like he just kind of came into the NBA like 10 years too early. Like, if he was there now,
if he was there now, he would be more successful.
he'd be more successful because they'd find a niche for him. He's also, because he's, what, like 6'3"?
He's like 6'2", 6'3". It's
yeah.
also no one plays defense today.
Yeah,
It's like
so-
3 players
What
that
was
even
the
try.
All-Star game? They scored like 200 something
Yeah, that's what I'm
points.
saying.
they're
Like
trying to-
nobody even tries to play defense anymore.
I mean, and that's
You
an
know what I mean?
All-Star game, so it's like you're not going to play as good a defense. But
But
still,
even then, like back in the day, the All-Star game used to be competitive.
Right.
Right.
Like these guys just out there.
That's because the money actually mattered a little bit more that they got from the All-Star game.
Yeah, this is like the Globetrotters now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's a good point.
so I don't know. I think he would definitely have been more successful now. Like he is only 6'2", but
But, yeah, they figure it out with other guys that are like that.
you know what I mean. But but you think about a lot of guys that are 6'2" in the league now. They're 6'4" and under. You got Marcus Smart and Steph Curry. Those are the guys that are Kyrie Irving. That's in my opinion why he didn't stay.
Right.
You have to guard these guys.
Right.
Whether you try or not, you
Yeah.
have to.
You
You
have
have
to-
to actually stand in front of this person and do something.
I was watching Kyrie last night, and I was like, I could never imagine trying to guard that ever in my life.
Yeah, he's got to be the most skilled basketball player.
Definitely up there.
Like just pure skill.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one ever dribbled the basketball like that. That's crazy. It's like and one and
In the NBA.
In the NBA.
Without actually carrying the ball, too.
right.
The and one was fun to watch.
It was.
Oh my gosh, and
I
one was
remember that.
good. So, gym stuff. I guess. Okay, going into it, let's say like a kid's listening, they're thinking about owning the gym. They love working out. It's like this is what I want to do for a living, or they're training, for somebody else at an event at a Y.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I want to do this on my own. What's like the biggest things you had to learn from like a business standpoint, an organization standpoint? Like, I got to get all this stuff kind of organized well to give me a chance to like keep building this thing.
Well, you just said the word. You have to be organized. And that's the biggest thing because your finances, like stuff for taxes, like all that stuff that you don't really think about, like tax write-offs.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know about that type of stuff, like what you can write off and things like that. If you keep everything organized, it's very easy for, at the end of the year when you're doing your yearly wrap-up to, go through everything. Like this tax season, even myself, I was scrambling and trying to figure out so much going on. Like sometimes you just lose track of things, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So staying organized is probably the biggest thing from a business standpoint, I would think. And just like, I guess staying true to what you have a vision of for your gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't let clients dictate what you're doing.
That's good. And I think it's so easy to get stuck in our business. Like you could work in your business, so I'm coaching people. I'm just like working for it. But then to like step back and look at the big picture, like, okay, now I gotta make sure I'm still working on my business and I'm not getting caught up in, it's like you get caught up in the day to day and what's going on. You lose track of like what is really true to you.
Right. So like when I was there all day, every day, trying to, scramble to make things happen in the very beginning, I was losing track of like the organization part because I was just letting anybody dictate my schedule. Like if somebody's supposed to be there at 9, they's like, oh, I can't get there. Can I come at 1? Oh yeah, sure. Because I needed, to make things happen.
Yeah.
But as soon as I realized like this is my schedule. I'm sticking to it. Either you make it work or you don't. People make it work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
People will make it work, and that's something I had to learn in New York City. Is like people will make it work if they really want to do it, and they trust you and whatnot, because they understand like they also have a schedule.
Right.
Right. Everybody's got a schedule, so and there's certain things you can't do during certain time. Like when they're at work, they can't be working out.
Right.
Right. But in the grand scheme, they find other ways to fit Netflix into their schedule and all that stuff. So they'll figure it out. And that's
They
based off
figure
your
it out.
schedule.
I mean, that's just like even paying for a personal trainer.
Mm-hmm.
People that say, "Oh, that's expensive." Well, you go out every Saturday.
Yeah.
You don't have to go out and spend $100 every Saturday.
Yeah.
You don't have to eat out 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Yeah.
For lunch. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
so that's something that we talk about all the time. And we were just talking about this morning, actually. It's funny. You talking about like the scheduling part. One of the clients was saying like, since COVID, no one really respects schedules. People are just so used to doing their own thing, like working from home. So they just do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So they have now been accustomed to that with everything in their life.
That's a good point.
That is a good
I didn't
point.
think about that, but that's true.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. So like somebody that tells you like today, oh, I'll be there tomorrow at 9. All right, cool. In their mind, it's okay for them to text you at 8:50, oh, I'll be there at 10. Like, no, I had to tell a couple of my clients that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's good though. So have you ever struggled with like boundaries and stopping that, or you've had to learn over time?
I had to learn.
Yeah, you have to
I
learn.
had to learn.
Because when you're young and you first get into this field, or when you first open your business, you're like, I'll take anything. I need money. I have to pay the bills.
Right.
Oh, if I don't text you back, I may lose.
Right.
I may lose you as a client, and I can't have that happen because I have to pay my bills. But it's over time you learn that's just not realistic for your life or for your
Right.
family. Your family doesn't deserve that. Mine doesn't. I still have a hard time with this.
Right.
Like I'm gonna.
Well, and it's that mentality. Like I used to tell my clients in New York City, especially. Obviously, you're trying to get clients and build up a steady, so you have a steady paycheck. And I would always tell clients like, you text me, I'm available. Now I would never say that.
Right.
Never say that. I'd be like, listen, I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can.
Right.
And like I'm available if I'm not busy with something, but there's gonna be times where like I might not be available on my phone. Like I'm also like trying to actively not be on my phone as much.
Right.
So for my own mental health type thing.
Right.
So there's like that boundary of with the client inside the gym, outside of the gym, and everything too. That makes a big thing.
The phone mental health. I went into the office and Jordy was looking at a bar graph in there or a line graph.
Dude, I don't know. It was a graph.
So I was like, what the fuck
There's
graph?
a pie graph, line graph,
I was
bar
like, what
graph. I
the
don't know.
fuck graph are you looking at? What was it, Jay?
It was representing what age kids get smartphones at, and then what like percentage of likelihood they are to struggle with mental health. And it was like ages 6 through 18, and it was highest if you got the phone youngest, but regardless, it was like 40%. Like at a baseline, if you have a smartphone as a teenager, 40% chance you're going to struggle with mental health stuff.
Well, it's like we talked about with like the video game thing the other day, and how everything they design is for you to continuously be on it.
To be addicted,
Right.
to make you like your brain leave this physical space that we're all sitting in right now.
Yeah.
And
And
to
times
not
I go to open my phone, I'm like, why did I even open my phone? Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, I do that for nothing sometimes. Like it's just like a natural thing. Let me check my phone. I don't have to do that.
No.
I
yeah,
have to start doing better with that as well.
yeah. Since having you have a son, right? You said since
I have
having
a son and 2 daughters,
and 2 daughters. How old are the daughters?
15 and 8.
Dude,
Headaches. Headaches.
I was gonna say that's a wide range right there.
Well, so my 15-year-old, that's my stepdaughter.
Okay.
Okay.
And then my 8-year-old, then my wife and I had a.
I mean, I got a wide range too. Listen, man. Like in my family, not me. I don't have kids. My oldest sister is
You have a big range.
43, and my youngest sibling is 17.
Yeah, same. My oldest brother he'll be 44 next month, and then my brother that Trey is 16.
So
Just
he's right
turned
there.
16.
Yeah. So you right there with me. All
And
right.
my dad is not even 60 yet. He's only 58.
Shout out to Pops.
Shut up, pops.
But Are you more conscious of being present at home though? Like putting the phone down, trying
No,
to.
yeah. So, I had implemented like a Monday night family night. So, I don't go back to the gym in the afternoon on Mondays. I pick up my kids from school, things like that, and then we do something. And I try to do something with them on the weekends as well. But like I said, that midday break, now that my son's in daycare, I try to get other things done. But when he's home, like today he's home, I had to get a sitter, but, we do try to be more mindful of like not just watching TV, playing with toys and bringing them outside. I mean, it's cold right now, but bringing them outside and doing things like, because all these TV shows are overstimulating.
Oh, dude.
The phone is overstimulating. You know what I mean? So try to be more mindful and do physical acts. Like we have a little hoop in the house. So like my daughter and I will play horse in the house, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Is she dunking on you?
No, she's terrible.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, sports, that is not her thing. Basketball's not her thing.
I think moving forward in the craziness that is our world and our country is like, I think as a kid, you have a tremendous advantage if you can learn to be more present.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like everybody around you with phones and everything, it's harder and harder to be.
It's, you know what it is too? Like as parents, when you're tired, it's easy to give your kid electronics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I sometimes feel like I'm tired, I don't want to do this. But I remember hearing an interview with Kobe Bryant, who is my favorite athlete of all time. He was like, kids don't understand that you're tired. They just know daddy's home.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, it's selfish for me to be like, oh, I'm too tired. So I try to think about that even when I'm dying. And I just want to nap, even for a 25-minute nap.
Mm-hmm.
But my son wants to play, let's go play.
That's so good. Jeez, Kobe, man. I remember when he passed away, I was in Lake Placid, and you get the notification on my phone, and it's TMZ, and Jordan's just like does writing online, or I feel like he's just more up to date on like media than me. I said, Jordan, do you see this? Is TMZ wrong? He goes, honestly, TMZ's like never wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're trash, but like they're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've been hit with enough libel suits that they cover
now
their ass
are
now.
Right.
They now do their research.
Yeah.
I was in Walmart, and I got a text message about it. I'm like scrolling.
Yep.
Keep going to ESPN. I'm like, tell me this is not true.
Yeah, right. You're looking everywhere. Like, is this real?
And then
Is
it
this
finally
real?
hit ESPN. I was like, yeah, then it has to be real when it hit ESPN.
I remember I was sitting in my apartment in New York City. It was a Sunday because my roommate Jay was working, and sitting there. And the night before was when LeBron had passed Kobe,
right,
in the scoring.
He was at the game.
Yeah,
he was at the game.
Yep. And so we were watching the game, and my friend Jay wasn't a sports fan until like he started watching it with us, and he texted me, and I'm sitting there writing a workout program for somebody on my couch. He texted me and said that. I was like, no way, and I'm doing the same thing. Flash forward a year later, I was sitting in my living room now on the couch at the like exact same time on the same day, writing a workout program and everything, and I got a text from my buddy Jay about something different, but it was like crazy, like how it like was literally a year later. Because I remember looking and I was like, oh, today's the day Kobe died. And I'm like, I'm doing the exact same thing I was doing. This is weird.
That's crazy.
This episode of Off Exit 10 is brought to you by Drink Alchemy. Fatigue and brain fog affect us all, destroying everything we pursue. Whether as an athlete, artist, creator, or entrepreneur, our mind holds the key to performing optimally. By combining the most potent organic nootropics found in nature, Drink Alchemy delivers sustainable boost to creativity, memory, energy, and focus in one epic beverage. Stop pumping your body full of excessive amounts of caffeine and unknown proprietary blends from other energy drinks, and get clean energy from Drink Alchemy's natural nootropics like lion's mane, L-theanine, and caffeine from green tea. Used by Olympians, D1 athletes, MMA fighters, and entrepreneurs, Drink Alchemy has become a huge part of my daily routine, making sure I'm functioning optimally during long days of coaching athletes, running CDSF, and getting in quality workouts myself. So do yourself a favor and ditch the energy drinks loaded with caffeine, other stimulants, and who knows what else, and head over to drinkalchemy.com today. Live with your mind unbound and save 10% off your order by using code CDSF at checkout. That's drinkalchemy.com, promo code CDSF for 10% off your order today. Did you live in New York City at all, or you were just born there?
I think I moved out when I was like 4, but after college I went back and I lived in Harlem for a couple of years. And that's how I got into personal training.
Was down there you started doing stuff?
Yeah, the girl I was dating at the time started doing this workout program called PRX 14.
Okay. It's always the weird numbers and letters. P90X.
Yeah, so it was Pure Results 14. So he had like this program where it was like 14 days straight and get results in 14 days. But the trainer there, he was actually on that show. I think it was The Biggest Loser.
Yep.
Remember that show?
Crazy show.
He was one of the trainers on that show. And I was still trying to figure out if I can go overseas. Like, I'm working out every day.
So you were still thinking basketball?
I was still thinking basketball at this point. And he was like, yo, you should be a personal trainer. Like, you can make a lot of money. And then when someone told me he can making $350,000 a year, I was like, yeah, I think I could do this too. So that's kind of how I got into it. And I was working with them for a little while. And then things just kind of went south. And I ended up moving back here like a couple years later.
Did you, because Paul and I talk about, you lived in New York City, I lived in Boston for a while, but I felt like being put in the working world in this bigger city where things move a lot faster, like put us at a decent advantage to be here, where just things don't move at that speed. You agree?
At all. It's not
You feel the same way, right?
Yeah, like when I first got to Harlem, I was working at Foot Locker on 34th Street.
So you have Paul has a retail background
wait,
too.
what year was this?
This is 2012.
What was the name of your manager, Pat? Okay, because I know a dude who was at Foot Locker for years, and he was at the 34th one.
Jay, you know Pat.
Yeah, Patty.
I just didn't want to, I didn't want to drop the full name, if it wasn't him.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, I didn't
Because
have
he
a
was there
pad.
forever.
Yeah, I have. This is
And he's
2012.
he's like in his 40s, so he's a little bit older.
But you feel like being at that speed of life.
Yeah, because you had to hustle.
You had to hustle.
Like, I'm talking like there was times where like 100 people might walk into the store at once, and you might have.
Street is busy.
It was busy, especially at that time. And like, if it was like a group of Brazilians that came in, they had no patience, and you're trying to get that sale because it's like they came in for the $200 pair of sneakers, and you wanted that commission.
Right.
So you were trying to get 6 pairs of sneakers, and if the runners were taking too long, I'm running. I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's completely different.
I think, yeah, it's interesting because you have young kids who, let's say they're studying some type of exercise science or bio or whatever in college. Like, I'm learning all the anatomy and the biomechanics, and I'm going to go into fitness and help so many people. And they're going to be better off spending a year working in a crazy retail sales setting. Now I got to move fast. I have to be very organized. I have to understand money. I have to understand relationships with people. I have to understand scheduling. It's like those are all traits that if you can't do any of that, all your knowledge in fitness doesn't mean a thing in terms of making a career out of it.
Right. I mean, it's like what's his name? Brad Stevens. You know what I mean? A great coach.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he didn't like play basketball.
No.
Yeah.
So he was able to take his knowledge and do something else with it. But like, I mean, I think he might have played, but he wasn't obviously anything great because he was a coach at 30-something years old. So like all the book smart stuff helps you in a certain capacity, but like just like anything, the life experience. What are you doing? Like going back and forth between clients and building rapport, like all that stuff comes from life experience. It's not from a book.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I can learn the muscles at any point. Spending 4 years doing it.
It's the soft skills that matter the most.
Right.
Yeah.
If you can talk to people and
if you can hold a conversation, if you can. So I always say to the clients, I'm learning your love language.
Yeah.
What makes you motivated? So I can, like, I have one client, she likes to compare herself to this one Instagram model. All I gotta do is say her name. Like, oh, well, Rocky wouldn't do this. And she's like, you know what, you're right. And she'll get right to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, finding what motivates people. Like, you can't do that in an anatomy book.
No.
You You know what I mean? Like, so.
No, and
I mean, it helps, but
I first realized this in one of my internships. There's probably like 6 of us interning, and the smartest dude was this guy in like chiropractic school. The smartest dude in terms of just the body and exercises and mechanics. But dude, he could not hold a conversation, and people didn't like him. And I was like, wait, this guy's the smartest out of all of us. Give us a test, and he's killing all of us on it. But like, he can't hold his own on this training floor,
right
at all.
No.
Yeah, conversation is a lot of. I mean, obviously, everybody's coming to you for, a good workout and results. That's number one. But if you can't, nobody wants to be there with a robot.
No.
Or a dictator. Or like
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, nobody wants to be with that. Like, you want to have some type of personality. Being able to walk into a room with different people and have different type of conversations goes a long way.
Do you feel like you have to have this micro knowledge of a lot of different things to be able to open up conversation with a lot of different people?
Not really.
Yeah.
I feel like if anybody comes into the space and starts talking about something that I don't really have much knowledge about, I just ask, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. Let me learn.
I have no problem learning.
Teach me. I'm going to teach you, but you teach me.
And some people like that, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they like being able to come here, like, oh, you're teaching me how to work on my health and these exercises, and I can teach you about this. Like, and then now you build a rapport.
Yeah.
So now the next time you go to tell me about something and I can hold the conversation based off of it. You know what I mean? Like, that goes a long way in this business, a lot of businesses.
And I think in that setting too is like, if you are learning something, like let's say, it's somebody in finance, right? And that's teaching you stuff about like helping you with your business and whatnot. Like, they can almost give you like, hey, next time I see you, I want you to like look at this, read this, do that, X, Y, Z, give you homework. And then you go, and that can allow you to be like, all right, well, I want you to do X, Y, and Z before the next time I see you.
Right.
So it can help you get them either more active outside of those times that they see you, because they may only see you twice a week and they need to be doing more than that maybe, or get them to build healthier habits outside of just seeing you, on top of you learning something that can benefit you on the same time.
Right. Oh.
Yeah. How much has do you train always one-on-one, or sometimes it's groups or multiples?
No, it's multiples is how I do it. Sometimes groups. We usually do the groups like on holidays.
Right.
Like Thanksgiving morning, a group of people want to come in real quick before the feast. But it's just multiple. I usually have anywhere between like 3 and 8 people at a time.
Yeah, that's good. Well, you talk about, because if you're a young kid in your 20s and somebody goes, yeah, man, you could make, 6 figures doing this. You're like, oh, great. Helping people work out, that's awesome. But you realize if you're doing it in a one-on-one capacity, like, that means you're pretty much probably working 12 hours a day.
12 hours a day. And I remember after working with PRX, I was at New York Health and Racket Club down, where the hell is it? Can't remember the street. Whatever. But yeah, they were like, yeah, you got to get here at like 6 in the morning. We're going to work till 8 at night. I'm like, that sounds crazy. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Like, unless you have like the one-on-one capacity, unless you have like really high profile clients, it's just not
right. Unless you have an incredible price point per hour,
right?
Which when I was in Boston, I was high. We were like 125 or 150. I mean, there were PTs that were like mid 2s to high 3s, and it's like, yeah, when you're bumping that a $300-something hour, yeah, I can work less hours and do it. But realistically, it's like if you want to scale, you got to get into multiples.
Yeah. That's something I wish I did in New York City, was the multiples.
Yeah, being able to multitask is huge, because you can maximize your time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if I was sitting here trying to, like we were talking about earlier, when people are at work, they can't work out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
You know what I mean? There's going to be dead time. So it's best, a lot of people are at work at 11, 12, 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Only a few people that can make that time. So, especially where I'm at. So multiples has been successful for me.
Yeah. So you scaling going forward, you've hired how many coaches since you first started?
There are 5 other trainers who subcontract, and then a yoga instructor.
Yep.
And then my father does self-defense there.
Yeah. Because, the scale, especially as a gym owner, it's like, okay, I don't want to be on the floor training people all the time. I got to hire my staff and be able to scale this and keep people going. So yeah, for you, it's more space and then more trainers as things grow.
Right. So yeah, I mean, right now that's what, like I said, it's 5 other trainers, so 6 trainers involved. The yoga class is every Sunday, every other Monday night. And then my father has his class 3 days a week, which his class doesn't interfere with everyone else's stuff. Yoga is really the yoga, and then Sam, she has a class on the Mondays as no yoga, and Wednesday night at 7 p.m. So those are the only times that other trainers can't be in the gym because they need the space. Obviously, yoga has to be quiet. And then she has this thing called Booty Monday.
Oh, Booty Mondays.
Booty
Paul.
Mondays. And then she does a step class, like a hip hop step class. So like I said, everything's been working out in that regard. But as we move to expand, the structure probably has to change a little bit.
Yeah. Do you ever envision like hiring trainers that aren't subcontracted, that are like your trainers, to take some burden off of you coaching wise? Or
that would be nice. But I think more so I'm trying to get into, like, if we get a bigger space, just allowing like memberships.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like right now we're such a tight space. It's hard to say, oh, you can just come in whenever
Right.
you want.
Right.
Semi-private.
Well,
setting,
what's
yeah.
You know what I mean?
what's your ideal day for you? You want to always be involved in coaching people, yeah?
For now, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I like coaching. I mean, we all get tired and want to
Yeah.
be home. You know what I mean? That just is what it is. But I still like it. But as we get older, you gotta
Yeah.
start figuring out ways to
Yeah.
kind of step off that floor and find ways to make money.
Yeah, because I've in the past, and thanks to Paul, because of Paul's retail background, he's changed the scheduling here, so it puts a lot of us, we have just better management of our hours, of our working hours. But when I have weeks where I'm off the floor more and doing more admin work, then I'm like, oh man, I just miss being out there coaching. It's like I need both. I thought I'd get to a point where I just wouldn't coach anymore and I would just, do marketing, do admin, do business planning stuff. And then when I have the weeks where that's the majority of my time, I'm like, I don't think that's what I want.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I don't feel as rewarded. I don't feel as
Yeah.
energized when I'm not out there coaching people.
Yeah, I couldn't just do admin. I need to do the coaching. That's part of the reason why I like what I do, is the interaction with different people and
Right.
helping somebody reach their goals or whatever it is. And they may be helping me with my day in that sense. Who knows? Like
No,
where I'm at in that
that's
day.
true.
So, but it is, you have a family, you have, a 1-year-old. So finding that time to be able to step off the floor and take time for,
Right.
those things, and having somebody that can step in and be like, hey, I can't be here this hour to coach this group, and you handle that for me,
Right.
that type of thing. Sure, would be nice eventually in the future.
I mean, like I said, we help each other a lot. So like, if I have to leave for any situation, like I can ask a couple of, like, yo, can you train this person for me? You know what I mean? They're there or whatever.
Yeah.
Or if I had to leave early, anything like that, we're good about that.
Yeah.
There's been many times where I've trained Samantha's clients. Like I told you guys, Jalen, she's gonna have a baby soon.
Yeah.
So she has some clients that I'm gonna be training until she's back.
Right.
So we're very like almost like a family knit, close community type of thing. So it works out.
Yeah, that's important.
That's nice, and especially because they are subcontract, so that they do take their ego out of it, and they're just like, like these people they still want to train, they still want to get their workout in.
Right.
I'll handle this one, but like not in here trying to like steal your client or like anything
Right.
like that.
There's none of that.
What advice would you give to kids if you had a high school kid come to you and be like, man, I have this idea. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start, I want to own a business like you one day. What would you tell them? Like, what's things you got to maybe be thinking about right now?
I mean, you gotta tell them the pros and the cons of it. Like, working for somebody else, obviously, you're getting a check. You know what you're getting in that check. If you're in retail and you're commission based, the harder you work, the more you get. In this job, you're gonna have ups and downs. You know what I mean? As an entrepreneur, especially when you're in any type of like service industry, your money is based off what other people can or cannot do.
Right.
So like a lot of times somebody go on vacation, that can throw their entire schedule off.
Mm-hmm.
And they might not come back for 2 to 3 months, and you were used to them paying you for 6 months.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yeah.
So
That's
like,
real.
That's real. I think, yeah, being able to manage the ups and downs and just know, like, there's just going to be ups and downs.
it's going to be ups and downs. So you have to understand that. And just like I said earlier, like just being organized, making sure you have everything in order. So like, even if there are surprises, at least you have a foundation
Yeah.
of what you're doing with your business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you're going to hire people, make sure you do, see if it's going to be a good fit, see if there's a good connection between the people. There's a lot that goes into it, man.
Yeah,
running
I
it.
think
There's
I
so
thought
many
of I
different
thought of when you were
avenues.
talking, like being okay with, you need to know that your work's not going to be rewarded immediately.
Yep.
Being okay with delayed
Right.
rewards.
Delayed
Yeah,
gratification.
Most businesses don't see a profit in that first year.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So-
we weren't even close.
And I
Yeah.
forget, I think it was like Warren Buffett said, like, he won't invest in somebody unless they failed failed a business 2 or 3 times.
Right.
Like, he's like, you gotta be out there trying and like try different things or try different avenues for the same thing. And you're gonna fail and whatnot. And I think that the other thing I thought of while you were talking too was that, like, if you're passionate about it, you're gonna put in way more and longer hours than you ever would with somebody that you're working for that you're not passionate about. But it's not gonna feel like it's gonna be stressful, but you're gonna feel more rewarded.
Right. Absolutely. Like when I would work 12, 13 hours for FedEx,
Right.
I'm like, I can't stand this. Like, I gotta go do this again tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, whereas now, even if I'm having a long day, I'm like, I'm interacting with people.
Mm-hmm.
I can walk out when I want.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So,
Like-
most days, the hardest part for me is just like, especially Wednesday mornings when I got to open the gym, is getting my ass out of bed and being like, all right, time to start
Yeah,
the
that's
day. Just because
that's
it's
one of
early
the
in the morning.
toughest things. Like I said, I do go back at 6:30. So by the time I get home, like clean up, get home,
Mm-hmm.
shower and everything, like my son's going back. He's going to bed. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that, and the fact that he doesn't always sleep at night, that's the toughest part for me.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of reward. There's a lot of cons, but there's a lot of pros with owning your own business. It's not something that a lot of people talk about. It's not something that's really taught in school.
No, people don't teach that in school.
They don't teach that in school.
Or they don't teach. Yeah, I feel like if you take and I don't know what it's like now. We're old, like we said before, but I feel like financial, like literacy classes, at least we went to a smaller high school, was not a thing.
Yeah, same.
Like
Or if it was an elective.
like almost, I would think almost everybody that went to college where we went to high school had to take out some type of student loan.
Right.
And not once did anybody ever tell us in, freshman year, in 4 years, this is going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is what it is.
Yeah, they definitely should have that in the curriculum. That's not something that I learned. I had to learn on my own.
Yeah, we all did.
Even as a business management major, like I had to learn this shit on my own. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends on the field that this person is trying to, open his business in.
Yeah.
His or her business. But if you're thinking about like a gym itself, one main thing is try not to spend your own money.
Yeah, good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Explain
I
that.
mean? So like if you can build your credit, which is another thing that they don't tell you about in college, but you build your credit and then you get your LLC and then you build, so now you have business credit
Yeah, because if
because
you
they
want,
go based off your personal credit.
because if you want, yes, I mean you want to split up your personal and your business,
You
right?
want to split it up,
Yeah.
but like in the beginning they're gonna ask you,
Right.
like
For
when
your
you go-
personal.
for your personal
Right.
credit. That's what you need in
Yeah,
order
if-
to even separate it.
If you want anything in this country, you need credit.
You need credit.
Right.
So, and when you have the credit, you can get, business credit cards and things like that. Don't you? I mean, yeah, you got to pay it back and things like that. But like, trying to, especially in the beginning, trying to build your business or your gym off your own dollar is a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. You know what I mean? Because if you use your credit and your business, credit cards or whatever, you can set yourself up for the long run and then pay it back.
Right.
But if you put your own money into it and things don't work out,
You got nothing.
you have nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's a major thing that, because my father helped me a lot with like getting the equipment. When we came out of pocket for everything.
Yeah.
That's wild.
You know what I mean? We came out of pocket. Some things were donated,
Yeah.
but then nothing came off a business credit card or a loan. Like,
Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard when you're young, right? Let's say you're in your early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s even, and you're looking to start a business. And in this world today, we're all coming out of college with some debt. You're trying to make your way in the world. You maybe have a house, you maybe don't have a house, and then you want to take out a business loan. Like when we went to open up this, I went to take out a business loan. I did it was a SBA, like a 7A loan is what they're called for small business. Did the whole process, business plan, everything. And then in the end, they said, dude, you have no assets. You own nothing. So like, what are you going to put against this money we're going to give you?
right.
Like, you could do your parents' house. I'm like, not a shot. Not a shot, man. No way. My mom would maybe say yes, but like, not a shot. I'm doing that.
And that's a whole nother fear.
Yeah.
Because like if things don't work out, you're gonna take my parents.
Yeah, I don't want that, man, at all. Right. So
Mike,
it's
you don't need that kind of. You definitely didn't need that kind of anxiety in your life.
Yeah, you
No.
don't need that stress. No one needs that stress.
No.
Nobody does, but Mike
But from what I'm gathering today, you don't.
I don't.
you don't need that
stress.
extra anxiety.
No,
or
I
stress in your
don't.
life.
No, I don't at all. No, not at all. But yeah, you're right. Just like financial literacy and understanding assets and liabilities, even like
I mean, like that stuff they teach you in business courses,
right, which
You
I
know, the
never.
assets,
Yeah.
liability. They do teach you that, but it's broad. Like it's almost like a set thing. Like you're not saying it like, okay, if you're in this business,
Yeah.
these are the type of assets and liabilities.
Good.
You know what I mean? It's just very direct. Like,
It's an umbrella.
right. So, I mean, I guess it still matters because regardless, it's assets and liabilities.
Right.
You have to understand like what you need in order to get these things, but it still can be very, it can be different given the business.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, what is valuable in this business that's going to get you to where you need to be?
We talked about off air before we came on assets with a gym, and you're building this community, you're building a membership base, you're building reoccurring revenue, which is nice. Now I have this thing, I have a community, I have equipment, I have people paying every month, I have a brand that people are aware of. So these are all assets. But it's like at the end, you got to think your exit strategies, right? It's like we're all gonna get old, and like, what the fuck am I else? What else am I gonna do with my life?
Right.
We're
I
humans.
don't want to do this at 60.
Right, we're gonna want to do different things, live different places. That's the nature of us as evolving humans. But it's in our industry. Sure, we can sell this collection of a thing, the brand, the equipment, the operations of a gym, the membership base that's there. If you create good systems, it exists. Hopefully I can go home and it's still working how it works.
Right.
I've trained people, I have the right people on staff. But at the end of the day, you can sell that for a finite amount and that's it. And it's probably as successful as you are and as big as your book of clients are, it's probably not enough to make you like live out the rest of your life how you may want to. But you think about assets and like real estate is a big exit game. And if you can get a hold of real estate, that's huge because now you have your operating gym. It can be what it is, but like I can probably sell some land and some buildings and have enough money to live my life how I want.
Right, exactly. I mean, as in our business or any entrepreneurship, you have to set up your own retirement. So
Yeah.
if you're not, depositing into that retirement enough, like you're going to be stuck doing this for a while.
Yeah.
And we're going to get old and tired.
There's good advice right there too.
Yeah.
If you're a 21-year-old, just got a job, dude, put in as much as you can into that IRA.
Right. Especially I wish I would have understood that when I was that age, but I didn't learn that until later. You know what I mean? So if I would have known that at 22, 23, let me put as much money of this check into a Roth IRA or something like that. Mm-hmm. I'd, be all right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whereas what I was doing was getting my my check and buying sneakers and going out and doing all that, wasting my money.
Yeah, and I didn't start. Did you start thinking about this on another level once you had your first kid? Or no? Just me in terms of like, okay, I can't be selfish with even my money because like
Right.
one
So-
day.
Yeah, so what I did was after, I think my daughter was like, so it's crazy. When my daughter was born, like my credit was shitty because I was getting student loan payments sent to Albany. I was living in New York City, so I wasn't getting them.
Oh,
So I was like
shit.
almost a year behind
Oh, dude.
because nothing. I didn't get an email. I got nothing. I
Oh,
was getting
shit.
paper, like paper, payment stuff, and a year behind. So my credit was shitty. So like my first year, I just bust my ass working 2 jobs to build my credit, and then a couple years ago, I opened up a savings account for my daughter. So I put in for that just for her. And now we're getting ready to do the same for my son. So things like that, you have to think about when you're having kids and you're running a business because you can't just rely on a
Yeah, it's
401k.
Right, it's another layer. It's not like I have an employer who's contributing X% to my 401k, and you
it's
just
different. Even when I was working for someone else, like I wasn't even thinking about a 401k.
yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know how long I'm gonna live, man. What's this 401k? But now,
Well, listen, you're in your low 20s.
Yeah, right.
Listen, we're guys, dude. Our brains are, they develop in your mid 20s. Maybe they're not
Yeah.
even developed
Yeah.
right now. It's-
so now, like that's something that I'm really starting to think about now. Like I really need to start thinking about my, putting more into my retirement because when you're 24, 25, you're like, I got so much time, but then you realize, damn, now I'm 34.
Yeah.
Like that shit flew.
That shit flew by.
yeah, being in this field is cool too because you're exposed to so many people, and the more people you're exposed to, you're gonna see different life scenarios.
Right.
Dude, my husband got sick. He's real sick right now. My dad just passed away suddenly. Oh, I just, I had another kid. And you're seeing through other people these bumps happen in life. And you're
Exactly.
naive to think, like, not going to happen to me.
Right.
Shit could. As much of a chance that it happened to them, it could happen to
They
us.
thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it happened.
And then it happened.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So definitely thinking more about the future than I was in the past.
Yeah.
So a 21, 22-year-old, that is definitely something that you need to think about at
Yeah,
that
man.
time,
For sure.
especially if you're not trying to work until you're 65.
Right. 100%.
Like my father still, he's 58 and he still works for the VA. You know what I mean? I mean that's still relatively young, but you don't want to work till he's 70. His older siblings are still working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
No.
I would like to still be making money.
Yeah, and I would like my brain to be involved in something where I'm
Right.
being productive, I'm doing stuff, but not waking up at 4 a.m, not getting home at 7 at night.
Yeah, I don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, not at all. Jordan, show me that shirt. I was looking at it.
You bought it for me.
I got you that? It's
Yeah,
a kitty cat with UFOs. It's awesome.
Yeah, it was a Christmas gift from you and Sam.
Oh,
So from Sam.
my cover's blown.
Oh,
Terron,
yeah.
this shows how involved I am in the Christmas
That's
present
crazy.
shopping.
Yeah, thanks,
That's
Mike.
crazy.
You're welcome, Jay. Yeah.
Is that the cat from Men in Black?
Mike, is it?
I don't know. I didn't know I got you that
I mean,
shirt.
that would make sense.
It would
though.
make sense
It
with
would
the
make
UFO.
sense with the aliens.
Dude,
That's why
I'm going
I-
with it. It's the cat from Men in Black. We're
That's
going with it.
Let's
the
do it.
great shirt. Yeah, I love little kitty cats and UFOs. It's like that covers it
I'm
all.
gonna say it's Men in Black. Yep.
Yep.
Makes sense.
That's a great
Are
shirt.
you looking
Thanks,
it up right
Sam.
now, Jay?
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
Oh,
I
it's so
love it.
good. Yeah, man. You're what else? Before we came on too, you're a hip hop guy, right?
Mhm.
Who are you listening to now? Anybody specifically?
I struggle with a lot of the newer guys.
Okay, I'm starting to because I feel like
Yeah.
now I'm like actually getting old because I'm like struggling.
I'm
with newer.
struggling with a lot of the newer, like the drill music. I just really don't care for it.
Mhm.
But I still listen to J. Cole
Yeah. That's my
a
guy.
lot.
That's my guy.
Yeah, I think J. Cole is one of the greatest.
Yeah.
That's my guy. Big J. Cole fan.
Like he's just different.
Did you hear the snippet of the new song?
No, I didn't hear it yet.
All right, it's on social media somewhere. I think he posted it.
Yeah.
And
Can we
whatnot.
play it,
listen
Jay?
to
We're
it.
not getting knocked down. But I don't know how you find it.
Give me a minute.
Okay, Jay, do your magic.
I listen to a lot of J. Cole. I actually like the Baby, even though he sounds the same on every song. I like Lil Baby.
The Baby's like the male Meg Thee Stallion. That's how
Right.
like, they're like the same.
It did take me a little bit, like when they first, like the Baby and Little Baby came out at like the same time, so I'd be like, okay, this
at first I was like, what the hell? Why do they have the same name? Like, what is happening? I thought it was dumb, but now I understand and I respect it.
You know, you just gotta educate me a little bit.
Right. But I like Lil Baby. I like the Baby. I like J. Cole.
Is J. Cole your favorite of all time?
No,
Who's your favorite of all time?
Jay-Z.
Good one.
I like Jay-Z and
Great
Fab.
Ooh,
Fab's good.
Fab's so underrated.
Jay-Z and Fab are my favorite.
If I want to
hip-hop
really
artists.
lip, I'll play From Nothing to Something straight through on a
Yeah.
good workout.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a great
The
album
intro to that album was our walkout, I think, at one
for a
point.
basketball
Nice.
season.
You can tell who has the like who's on the Bluetooth at the gym. Like if I'm on there, you're gonna hear Jay-Z, you're gonna hear Fab, you're gonna hear Jadakiss.
Oh,
Yep,
Jadakiss
Jadakiss.
is great.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You're gonna hear all that type of music. My brother's on there, you're gonna hear some G Herbo.
Right. Yeah,
Sam's on
we're just older, so like give me Jadakiss, give me Fab.
Right, but he knows that stuff too, but he likes the newer music as well because
Yeah.
he's 20. He'll be 29. And then when Sam's on there, you're gonna hear a lot of like dance hall music.
Okay.
There's like
Yeah.
double entendres. It's like
Joaquin, when I first
Walk
listened
the
to it,
Line?
the first thing I heard was the Joaquin Phoenix "Walk the Line." I'm about my cash, and I was like, "Yo,
or
that is
what's
so
the
sick.
Jay-Z line? Drop Reasonable Doubt last, which
Oh,
that
yeah.
was like Jay-Z's best album.
His
Like,
first,
oh,
his
this is
first
coming.
album, yeah. The fall off's like
Yo.
dropping Reasonable Doubt last.
Ugh.
Yo,
J. Cole, in my opinion, is top 5.
Yeah.
Dead or
Yeah.
alive.
Oh yeah.
So Jay-Z, great for the same reasons I like J. Cole. I just feel like he's so conscious about what he's saying and the wordplay and the
He's
storytelling.
consistent.
Yeah, and he's consistent. You know what you're getting.
He's very consistent.
Listen,
Like, he's
consistency,
just-
man, goes a
You gotta
long
have
way.
it. Like Lil Wayne used to be in my top 5, and
Okay.
he just started saying anything.
Yes, but
Like-
let's just pretend it's like through like the blog era and the mixtape Little Wayne's, like when we were in high school.
Different.
You can't beat that.
You can't.
You
Can't even
can't
touch
beat
it.
that. The DJ Drama mixtapes and
Different. No ceilings.
no ceilings.
The drought.
The droughts,
Different.
yeah, dedications.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
was different.
That
That
was
was a-
different. Kids don't understand now that era of music where like you had to go online to a blog, like Hip Hop Daily or whatever there was. There'd be to listen to new songs. You click the links, you convert them on YouTube to the MP3. But
There's a
Little
lot
Wayne,
going on.
you'd go on every day and it's like 6 new fucking songs.
it was crazy.
that were good.
Yo, Dat Piff.
That pit.
Rest in peace.
Rest in
That's-
peace.
Yeah.
What's crazy is Lil Wayne's been out since what, 98?
Yeah, he was a kid. He was
a
14,
kid.
15, whatever.
And his best music was like a 4-year span.
Yeah, go. What years would you say?
Like when the Carter 3 came out was what, 07,
08?
08.
08? It was like one of those years. And then to like 2012, 2013 is when all those mixtapes were coming out.
Yeah.
Like, and he just ran the game. He was featured on every song, every hit.
Yeah.
He was remaking every hit.
It's better than the original person
Yeah,
did
like
it.
when he did like the Upgrade You Beyonce song, like or Sky Is the Limit, like he was going
Sky's
crazy.
the Limit's so good.
He was going crazy.
His
and then
Run This Town.
and then Carter 4 was like, had a couple good songs, but Carter 5, I can't listen to it.
I don't even know what's on that. I know Carter 4 is like Blunt Blowing and like Mega Man are like right there early
She
on.
Will and all that. That's
Yeah,
on
okay.
there. Yeah, you're not missing anything with Carter 5. He could have kept that.
No, but you're right. Yeah, those 4 years or whatever it
Like
was.
4 or 5 years.
was
He was
like-
just, but he
yeah.
was on so much that it seemed like it was a longer run.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I mean,
they
I guess like
Jay, what's
Carter
your?
2 was good.
Carter 2
Carter 2
is my
really-
favorite.
But
Lil
that's
Wayne
a
album.
different style
Carter
of
2 was
rap.
really good.
I
Carter
feel
Carter
like-
2 is my favorite Lil Wayne album because that's to me is like he's like it's the mixtape Lil Wayne, but like on his own album.
Yeah, but he was finally coming to his own.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel-
got Fireman, Best
Yeah.
Rapper
Yeah,
Alive.
it's
like-
different. I feel like a Milli changed how people rap because it was like nothing was associated with each other. It was kind of like off the beat. There was no chorus. It's like that's like what a lot of dudes try to do
all.
now.
and
Yeah,
that beat.
That beat was
And
crazy.
the beat.
That beat. Everybody's trying
Yeah.
to do that now. They just let me get a good beat and then I'll just say whatever I want on the song.
But like, it's it's crazy. It's crazy because like when we were kids, you listen to like Curtis Blow and all that stuff. Like it sounds so old. Jadakiss sounds old to these kids,
Yeah, Jay-Z.
Like
sounds
when we
old.
hear like a
and these guys are still good.
Yeah.
Like they still come out and like Eminem was still once a year come out with something fire.
Yeah. but he is. I mean, they're older than us, so they're pretty old.
Yeah, but you can't beat.
They're older than us, and they still come out with something that's
You
crazy.
can't beat Jadakiss's voice though.
I know. Like I don't know. It's
The
crazy.
patented Jadakiss laugh.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah, Jay, give us a Jadakiss voice.
But it's crazy. Like I talk about Beanie Siegel. Kids don't even know what the hell that is.
Yeah.
DMX was a whole nother like
A different level.
you talk about a period of time.
Jay,
like
do
a
a song like
period
Time
of
Is
time,
Up. That has a
like
hard
DMX's
Jadakiss
first
ad-lib right at the
4
beginning.
albums. Stupid.
Amazing. Like, but it's everything is changing again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, where it was about lyrics
Yeah.
Yeah.
when we were.
Which that's what I love, man. It's like my intellectual brain. I love the lyric. I love deciphering. I love a good story.
Right. So like, I guess '80s was like they worried about lyrics, but it was more of like a beat, like what you wanted to dance to. And then late '90s and 2000s was like metaphors
Yeah.
and things
And
like
that's
that.
why we locked the door, Jay.
Yeah. You know what rap? Jay, do you have the Jadakiss? We got to wrap up here shortly. Somebody just banged on the door. 9 minutes out there. You got 9 minutes so you can come in. I don't know what it's called. It's like hashtag rap where somebody would say something and then they say like an associative word
Yeah.
after. Like Nicki Minaj used to do it. Drake would do it early on. I don't know. Jordan, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I feel like Lil Wayne did that. a
Lil
lot.
Wayne was
did
probably
it.
like the start of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Definitely.
But yeah, man.
Nothing like some hashtag rap. Because that's what was trying. Because you were trying to get hashtags on Instagram. That's
Right.
what it was. It was
Right.
like and then all of a sudden you would see all these terms and I'm like, what is this? What is going on? How do you even use a hashtag?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's outrageous now.
That's literally just a number sign.
But yeah, I
It's just a
can't.
pound
I just
symbol.
like New York drill rap. I don't
Like
like
who's
it.
an artist? Give me
I don't even know
yeah.
these guys.
The only one that I ever really got into was Pop Smoke.
What about like
But do you even count that as drill music though?
Not really.
what
You know
about
I mean?
like
I like Pop Smoke.
what about
yeah.
like Griselda or like Benny the Butcher? Yes or no for you?
I haven't really listened to it.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
him a lot.
That's it.
Yeah.
I would recommend Benny the Butcher.
Yeah.
If you like, you ever hear Johnny Peace Caddy, Benny the Butcher and J. Cole? That's listen to
Good
that.
start
when you
for
leave
Benny
when
the
you when you
Butcher.
leave here today, put that song on.
Okay.
Yeah.
J. Cole, I'm
I'm
pretty
gonna-
sure got verse of the year for that song.
Because somebody was talking about him the other day, and I just never.
Yeah, he just can rap. It's like it reminds me of like the guys we're talking about,
He
like
reminds
the
me of like
'90s
a,
guys.
he reminds me like of a Pusha T kind of.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like that kind of like
'Cause
flow.
I feel like out of like New York artists, like A Boogie is the only one that I can listen to right now.
yeah.
I can't even think of New York artists.
Benny the
That's what I'm
Butcher's
saying,
a
I
buffalo. He's a buffalo. He's in Buffalo, so I
I
guess you
can't-
count
Yeah,
that.
Benny the Butcher's Buffalo. So yeah, the
I guess you
Griselda.
can count him, but I don't. It's not too many. I don't know any.
There's not a lot of New York City rap. Lil TJ.
Yeah, not for me. I'm just too
Yeah.
old.
Yeah,
Well,
I just know
even-
he's from New York.
But like even like kids that are rapping and I hear them like now. I used to work at Troy High, and like I'm like, good for you, but I'm not downloading your music, bro. Love you to death, but I'm not downloading this. Like I'm not putting this to any one of my like workout videos.
Sorry, can't do it. Can't do it.
Oh shit.
Like love you, but I don't like it.
It's not getting me motivated. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate you coming on,
I
Terron.
appreciate you guys
This is
having
fun,
me.
man. It's great to meet you. It's like I
Same.
said, yeah, your younger brother somewhere. I don't remember where. I met him. I own this gym because he's a football guy at Shen. He's like, oh, my brother owns a gym. I think I followed you and just been put on since.
I'm just trying to figure out like you have he doesn't live far from here. You don't live far from here. Like you don't come here. You don't come to my gym. My father's at the gym 3 days a week, and you,
got
just
yeah.
you
don't.
got
You-
options.
You
Okay.
have options,
Yeah,
bro, and
you
you
gotta-
just don't. I don't know. And then
Yeah,
he wants
you-
to be a gamer, and he's terrible. Like he
Now
just,
we're talking.
like he just, and I would respect it if you were actually good. You're not even good,
I can beat you, and I haven't
we
picked up a
got-
stick
we-
in like 3 weeks.
bro.
Sure.
Like what?
We got in 2 or 3 weeks here. We have a professional esports guy coming on because I'm so intrigued. I guess we'll see what really good gaming is, what somebody's made of when they're real good, when that's what they've done for a living.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, don't ask me.
don't ask me.
Don't ask me.
Unless we're playing like fucking N64, don't ask me.
That was probably the best gaming system.
Shout out
Shout out to N64.
N64,
N64 was my favorite game. That was the best wrestling game.
the best any game.
Remember like WrestleMania 2000? Do you remember that game?
I wasn't a wrestling guy, so
No,
I don't know.
I was a big wrestling guy.
Dude, you
they had like WCW versus NWO
shit,
video game.
Oh, yeah.
You ever meet Tay Fisher?
Mhm.
He's a big wrestling guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do it now. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like these guys are corny.
They
But
are.
like Stone Cold, Rock, they were funny. You know what I mean? Like these guys aren't even funny.
Yeah.
The Rock's just was the funniest.
He was hilarious. Stone Cold was funny. You had like DX was like a movement. You know what I mean? Like it was funny things going on. I can't watch it now. But even like Super Smash Brothers was on N64.
A plus.
Amazing.
Mario 64, Ken Griffey Baseball, GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye was the classic. GoldenEye's the classic.
Classic.
Did you
bro.
anything else to add to the mix? Those are good games there.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Ooh, you ever play
Love
that?
game.
I did not.
Some weird little dog, wolfy, bear thing.
Bear.
He'd ride around with like a chicken on his back, shooting eggs at people. I don't know if
No,
it was
I
a
never
chicken
played that one.
ostrich. Weird game, but
Never
good game.
played that one.
Enjoyable
There was a lot
game.
of weird games when we were growing up.
Definitely. I mean, these games now, like the graphics on these games are ridiculous, but I just can't muster like the energy to go and
No.
like Gods of War. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
It looks fun. Looks like it's a really fun game.
Looks fun until I pick up the controller and I go, nah,
I have
not for me.
I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing.
And my character's just spinning around, so I don't know how to control it. It's just like
No fucking idea what I'm doing, bro.
shit, man.
Right.
Dude, I want to keep going, but we gotta let people in
Nah,
the
no,
gym.
you gotta get to work. Gotta get to
Jeez,
work.
just fucking keep the door locked. Let's just keep doing this. I'd have a more enjoyable afternoon.
Right.
Hey, you want to plug anything before we jump off?
I appreciate you guys, man. This was fun. Really enjoy it. We could do it again. Let's do it again.
Oh, we're gonna
Let's
do it
continue.
again.
Yeah, to be continued, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, man, for sure, guys.
Sweet deal.
Yeah, Trent, appreciate you.
Thank you,
And
guys.
we'll catch everybody next time. Thank you.